Good afternoon, my friends. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to be with you this afternoon and to be allowed to share a few thoughts that I have had and that I wish to share with you today. For several years, I have been saying to you that we are approaching a time when everyone will be their own medium and be connected to the world of spirit. We have also been telling you that in the future, there will be people coming to you, and you will be their teacher, and you will give them the knowledge that they need. For some of you, that thought may provoke some fear or nervousness or insecurity. And that is the topic I wish to talk with you about today. For that emotion of fear and insecurity and not knowing if you can do it is the exact thing that you need to avoid. For that fear will block your ability for us to work with you. So today I wish to talk to you about feelings and emotions and how they play a role in communication with the spirit world. You were talking today during your sending and receiving about tomato plants, and it occurred to me that that is a very good analogy, or it may be, for certain people deal with their tomato plants differently. Some people go to a nursery and buy baby plants and stick them in the ground and watch them grow. Other people buy packages of seed and stick the seed in the ground and water them and watch them grow. And I'd like to talk about the people who grow tomatoes from seeds. When you stick that seed into the ground, cover it over with dirt and water it, you step away and allow it to do its thing, if you want to use that term. For you cannot stand over that little seed that just got its first drink of water and say, come on, seed, grow. I love tomatoes. I want to have a tomato tomorrow that you're going to produce. Grow, grow, grow. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. For the seed has its own time for development, its own time to blossom, and no one can speed that process up. It is its natural development. So what I need you to understand is that your expectation of can I do this? Can I allow spirit to speak through me? Is the same thing as telling the seed to grow now. What you have to do is to be in an expectation of, I can do this. I will do it when the time is right. You need to take the pressure away from you of the worry about your ability to do it or not, and just trust in the process so that it can happen. Because your expectation and your fear about it will impede it. As you all know, I used to talk about the Bible being a book of psychic history. So I wish to talk about a Bible story, not for its religiosity, but because it is a prime example of what I'm speaking about. The book of Jeremiah opens up with God talking to Jeremiah, who is a teenage boy. He's inexperienced. Whether he knew a lot about mediumship or being a prophet, we're not sure. But he suddenly hears God's voice telling him that he wants him to go out and speak whatever he's going to say. And Jeremiah is quite reluctant. He's not sure he can do that. And he says that to God. And God tells him, we will put the words in your mouth and you will speak them. And we will fortify you so that you will not be afraid of the people who you're speaking with. So what we are saying to you is to not be concerned about the days to come, whether or not you can do it. What you need to do is just be and allow us to speak. Many of you have been witnessing mediumship for decades. Some of you, it's only been a matter of years. But the point that we wish for you to focus on at this point is that the medium is not one who is afraid of what is going to happen. What I'm trying to say is he approaches it without expectations. He does not worry, can I do it? Will I do it? At least he doesn't do that anymore. He used to in the beginning, but he's learned that when the time comes and he needs to be the speaker, the words will be there, as long as he's not fearful. The same message that was told to Jeremiah. So do not be concerned about what we're talking about. What you need to do is just learn to trust us, to trust in spirit. For even people practicing mediumship, it's one thing to go into a practice circle and give a message. It's another thing to stand in front of a group of people in a church service and give a message. But the point is, in front of a group of people, and when you're standing on that stage, it is actually easier in some ways if you trust that we will be there. If you just let go, the words will start to come. Now, we're not expecting you to stand on a stage in front of people, but you probably will be talking to a couple of people at a time. And what we're saying is just approach it in a state of neutrality. Don't worry about it. If anything, expect that you'll be successful. For that leads you into a mindset that allows us to access you and put the words in your mouth, as was told to Jeremiah. I want you to think about something and think about it very carefully. There is a scientist in Japan. I believe his name is Dr. Emoto. And he did experiments with plants and water. Excuse me, he just worked with water. And he took a small batch of water, let's say a little glass of water, and he scented positive thoughts. And he put the glass of water into the freezer, and it froze, and certain patterns formed in the crystals of the ice. And he took another bottle of water and scented really angry and negative thoughts. And he put that in the freezer and froze it, and it was a completely different set of patterns that formed in the water. And those patterns were not as symmetrical. They looked angry, they looked jagged, they looked negative, if you want to use that word, compared to the positive ones. And it was an exercise that proved that thoughts are things, and the water reacted to those thoughts, depending on if it was a positive thought or a negative thought. So if that is happening to water molecules, imagine what happens when you send out a thought about whether or not you can handle what's going to happen in the future. It's the same exact reaction, only you're not going in the freezer, you're acting on your own receptibility to the spirit world. If you have positive thoughts about it, when the time comes, I'll be able to handle it. When the time comes, you'll do well. If you have full of fear and say, I don't know if I can do this, will I say the right thing? And all these negative thoughts, it impedes our ability to have you to work with you. So the message of what I'm saying, and I guess I'm being a bit long-winded about it, is that I want you to be in a neutral state or a positive state or a state of anticipation, saying, I can't wait to work for the spirit world and have them speak through me. Because that when you say that, you are opening up the doors for us to be able to speak when the time is right. So that is really our message today. We want you not to be fearful because there's times that you are facing are full of uncertainty, but fear does not help you on any level on anything that will happen. You need to be in either a neutral state or a state of anticipation to help us be able to communicate with you. So, like Jeremiah, we can put the words in your mouth, the correct words that need to be said for you to help other people, for you to be their teacher and their guide into how to proceed in the days to come. I hope you can appreciate the seeds of what I had said today and will be able to think about that and be able to meditate on it and focus on it and allow yourself to be positive and excited about these events that will happen in the future and not fearful of them. For I think at this point you understand the detrimental qualities of that fear will cause. So if you can't be enthusiastic, jumping up and down, saying, I can't wait to be a mouthpiece for spirit, at least be neutral and say, I will handle it in the days to come, with enough confidence to know that that will happen. I hope you can take these words to heart and put them into practice. So be it. We're now ready for the first question.
Thank you, Carl and friends. Thank you for being here and for that teaching. We appreciate it. The first question is from Susan Yu and Carol C. There's been a lot of discussion about an object in space that is being called 3I Atlas that is approaching our solar system. Can you explain what it actually is and what its purpose is? Thank you.
As most of you understand at this point, human beings are not the only living beings in the universe. But human beings are probably the least developed beings in the universe because your evolution has been retarded by religious people, by religions, I should say, by governments, and for many other types of tyrants who want control over your minds and the way you think and your actions. This has impeded your evolution in comparison to other beings in the universe. The other beings in the universe understand this, and they have been watching the Earth plane for many centuries, but they have been watching it more from a distance. But since you are on the threshold of going into the age of knowledge, into this great evolution and renaissance that is about to occur, there is a great anticipation throughout the universe. Because if you really want to think about it, human beings are like lead shoes to everybody else. As you understand, every creature in the universe, everything in the universe, whether it's inanimate or animate, is divine crystalline energy. So the fact that human beings are um, they're like the lead shoes to everyone in the universe. So when human beings will evolve, the weight of those lead shoes will become much less and eventually become not weights at all, and it will free up evolution throughout the entire universe. So this is why beings on other planets are so interested in what's happening now in your planet, because they want to be free of the lead weights, which are human beings. They want human beings to evolve so that there will be further development and evolution throughout the whole universe. So they are coming in many different ways and many other different ships in order to help to assist in ways that they can to help the evolution of this planet, and for you to free yourselves of the dogmas and creeds and the religiosity that has been programmed into your consciousnesses, and for that release to happen, and for you to enter the age of knowledge as we have talked about. So they will be there. You have just heard a very long lecture about being able to speak what spirit wants at times and be teachers for other human beings. Well, we want you to understand that the messages that come from the what you term the spirit world is only part of the whole equation. Other beings from other planets will also be sending telepathic thoughts to you to have you speak those to other people. So the information that is going to be channeled, whether it is coming directly from the spirit world or from some being in another dimension or another planet, it matters not, because as we said, every being is divine crystalline energy. They are here to help and assist. So while you are so used to saying the word spirit, it also includes beings from other planets. So the information that we talked about that you will be speaking, it will be of a higher knowledge base, and it will provide the stepping stones needed for people to proceed from their lack of knowledge into walking into a mindset and consciousness of knowledge and light and spirituality. It is a process that, as many of you have been going through it in the last few years, it will be a process that many people will be beginning for the very first time in the days to come. So they will need lots of assistance. As we have spoken before, many people will have very, they will react with much anger once they learn they have been lied to. For the lie is not just to them, the lie has existed for centuries and millennium. So therefore, it is going to cause some people who thought they were walking in the true path of knowledge to realize they've been walking in the darkness of ignorance, and they will be angered about that. And it will take some guidance from people who understand that process to help them navigate those dark waters and come into the light of understanding and knowledge. And this is where you come into play, because most of you have had that journey of being raised in a strict religious background or a semi-religious background that you've learned over the years has been very narrowed and confining, and that you have learned to go beyond and to discard that. Some of you have done it with a bit of anger, and you've resolved the anger, and some of you it was just natural to discard it. So you have had that experience, and this will give you uh, the credentials, we'll use that word, to be the teacher for those people, because you have walked that path already, so you understand that path, and therefore you are the natural teacher for that, because you have that will have that experience that you can share with them. So this is more of what precisely of what we're talking about. So the people that are being viewed on the ships that you say are coming, which they are, but that you're observing them, they are coming here to help you over the ditch, as was said by a famous teacher, over the threshold into the age of knowledge. And as for some people, that will be a rather difficult journey. For others, it will not be so difficult, but you are going to be the ones to assist people who are in need of assistance to reconcile their belief systems. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you. And can you tell us from what culture or what peoples have sent this ship, or where their planet is?
For most of you, you would not recognize the names to in the first place. Just know that you will have an innate sense of whether what is being projected from them resonates with you or it doesn't resonate with you. And you will be able to recognize what information to share. It is very much like many of the people in the spirit world who are not interested in taking credit of I said this in the spirit world and therefore it's true. Most people, most spirits do not need that recognition anymore. It is kind of a little bit of the ego that exists so strongly in the dimension in which you live in, where credit is wanted, and I need to show how smart I am, and all that kind of uh, attitude and mindset is the right word. That mindset does not exist in the spirit world, because when you go into the world of spirit, because you are not individuated as much, because you don't have physical bodies as much, have physical bodies at all, it's much more, I'll say the word communal, it's much more a vibrational resonance that exists in the world of spirit, because you are with spirits that are vibrating in a very tight frequency range. because if the frequency was so different, they'd be in another dimension, another level. So you are resonating with like-minded spirits, and therefore it's not so important that I said this or they said that, or it's coming from here, it's coming from there. So the main thing to be focused on is when the information is presented or it filters through your mind, does it feel right with you? Because if it feels right with you, it really doesn't matter. You can just sense that it is coming from a good place, from a high place, from a wise place, and therefore you can use that information freely. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you. The next question is from Susan Yu. Can you tell us about cities of light that are above the earth in higher dimensions and their purpose? There is a lady named Charlotte Shanti in Denmark who says she is a bridge to the beings in the city of light, Scandinavia. She is able to channel healing frequencies from the beings in the city of light and also to encode their frequencies into earth crystals. Can you confirm this? Is this true? Thank you.
My friend, it is true and untrue at the same time. It is true there are cities of lights and other higher dimensions that are being channeled by the woman that you are talking about, as well as others, and can do the healings, as you said, and using the crystals that you said. That is all very true. However, historically, those cities of light weren't necessarily in other dimensions. They were right here on Earth. They were here on the Earth plane. One great example is what you know as the Grand Canyon. There was gigantic cities of light in that canyon of people who were very advanced and very much attuned to more enlightened things, partially because they were on a continent where the religions had not arrived yet. They were here before the Europeans came across the ocean, bringing their civilization and their oppressive religions with them. As many of you know, some of these people who colonized the Indians forced them to change their religion's ideology and forced their religion of Christianity upon them, their tight mindset of enslavement upon them. The native people did not have those kinds of oppressive ideologies. They were much more in tune to nature and in tune to the higher beings of not only the spirit world, but of other dimensions as well. Going back to the Grand Canyon, there were great cities of light there doing the things that you had described in the other dimension. However, the people there, because their minds were working, their brains were working 100%, they knew that the Europeans were coming and were going to suppress them, and they did not want that to happen. So what they did was they caused great a great change of not evolution, but a great change, and they covered their cities and encased them in rock. So underneath the stones of the Grand Canyon and the rock of the Grand Canyon, those cities still exist. And the people themselves, they ascended and they left the earth plane because they knew the age of darkness was going to encroach upon them. And they did not want to lose their advancement. They did not want to go backwards in evolution. They wanted to be more advanced, so they left it. They left the earth. In the days to come, in the age of knowledge, these people will return and they will unearth their cities. They will reverse the process that they used to cover their cities with rocks, and they will remove that, and their cities will once again thrive as they had centuries ago. So while you were correct in saying that the cities of light are in the other dimension, they other dimensions than Earth, they were here on Earth as well. And that's where I said the statement was incorrect. They were both places, although they're not here now, but they will be returning. Do you understand?
Yes, that's fascinating. Thank you. The next question is from Luvera. What can you tell me about Galactic Federation? I've heard they are now here and watching everything happening on Earth. Thank you.
As was stated before, there are many places where people, beings from other planets, are coming to now observe what is happening. They're kind of like, well, let's put it this way. You are entering your fall season and you are very much, some of you, maybe not people who are here in attendance today, but there are many people on your planet who are very much enjoy watching the sport of the season, of watching their football games. And as you know, many people go to the stadium very early and they cook food and they party and they have a grand old time waiting for the time to be let into the stadium to watch the game and cheer for their team. What is happening is in the galactic civilizations is the same thing. They are gathering before the game. They are gathering to watch and in anticipation for when humanity actually crosses the line or as at the threshold. Because what you actually are right now is you're still approaching the threshold. If we kind of want to make an analogy, you are like a yard away from the threshold. You're just about there, but you got a little bit ways to go until things are going to really heat up and start to change. So, but you're approaching it. And so the galactic people are gathering, they're watching, they're partying, just like people gather at the football stadiums before they're let into the stadium to, I believe you call it tailgate. So the galactic people are tailgating right now. They're gathering, they're watching, they're anticipating, they're waiting. They can't wait for the game to play. They're out there ready to cheer you on. They're out there, they're ready to assist. They're right there, ready to put the words in your mouth, as we spoke about. So this is all part of what is happening. So they are different groups of people, as we said before, and the one you asked about is one particular group. There are other groups that are coming from different parts of the universe uh, and from different planets. This is all part of what is happening now. They're in anticipation waiting for you to actually put your toes on that threshold. You're getting close, and they cannot wait to be there, for they are eagerly, as we said before, waiting for you to cross that threshold and begin your evolution to release the lead shoes from their feet, as we spoke of before. You understand?
Thank you. And I have one other question. This is Carol. Um, our friend Fenton, who's passed over, he always had questions about the ETs. So I'm wondering if he's listening to um, our gathering here, and if he's learned a lot about the ETs from where he is in spirit right now, and if he's enjoying himself. Thank you.
I can tell you he is very tickled by your question and is kind of chuckling and is very happy that not only that you have remembered him, but that that you have anticipated what he has been and doing in the world of spirit. For his curiosity on topics has not diminished at all. The only difference is that he has, how do I say this? He had his access to information is a lot easier now, because think about it. In your dimension where you are living, your knowledge of what's going on in other dimensions and other planets and galaxies is quite limited. Where he is now, the access is much easier, and he has also learned how to communicate directly with some of these people from different dimensions through the use of telepathy, as you understand that through mind thought, because you should be aware at this point that in the spirit world, most of the spirits do not bother talking; they just think to each other. They use telepathy, and that telepathy is not restricted to just the people that are on their own dimension, but can be sent out to talk to beings in in other dimensions and other planetary systems and other planets. So he has been quite fascinated by his interaction with what you call ETs, with beings from other places, and has learned a great deal about many different topics. He will be one that will be in communication and guiding and putting words into people's mouths that we spoke about before, because he, in his knowledge gathering that he has been doing since he has arrived in the world of spirit, is quite considerable. His appetite for information was insatiable, and therefore, if that has not changed, he has just shed his physical body, which has allowed him to be in a much easier frequency, because, as you understand, your dimension is the slowest and most dense frequency. So being outside and not attached to a physical body, it allows much more freedom for what you might term astral projection, meaning be able to travel from place to place mentally or spiritually, or with your spirit body, I should say. And therefore, he has been doing that. A skill that he did not have when he was in the physical body, but has learned how to do that now that he has shed his physical body. So he has been, as we said, in contact with many, many different civilizations, and has gained much knowledge. He is very happy in the spirit world, happier than he was living in the physical world. For there were certain situations in his life that brought him despair, and things that he knew that he could not change, because he understood that other people have the free will. That's the word I was looking for. I wanted to say divine right, and I knew that wasn't the correct word. The free will to harbor resentments and all kinds of egoistic things that happen between people, and he was smart enough to understand that he could not break that down with people that were close to him. So he in the spirit world, most of that is gone in the dimension that he is living in, and therefore he has thrived in his pursuit of knowledge, especially with people from other dimensions. So that is an update on what Fenton has been up to since he entered the world of spirit. Do you understand?
Thank you. That's great to hear. And that is our last question.
Again, my friends, we are so happy to be of assistance to you at these meetings, and we hope that you can understand the importance that we spoke about in the beginning of walking through the days to come, not in fear, but in great anticipation, not only for the changes that will happen in the earth plane, the changes of people's attitudes and knowledge and the desires that will be coming, but also on a more personal level, anticipation for you to be also be a cog in this change, because each of you will have the opportunity to serve to in the progression of this knowledge as being the teacher and way shower for others. Be in joyous anticipation of that, of your being able to serve in that capacity, and do not be fearful of it. The greatest thing that you do is understand your knowledge of mediumship. The fact that you're not mediums is irrelevant, but you understand the fact that being without negativity is important for the communication. So don't feel that I've never done this, I can't do it. Think, I will have the opportunity to do this, and I am excited to serve in that capacity. And just have the knowingness that when the spotlight comes on you, that you will rise to the occasion and be able to do what needs to be done and say what needs to be said. And it will be innate to you. It'll be almost as if, well, it's almost as if you are possessed to do it. And that word possess has some negative connotations, and we don't mean it negatively. But it will just be so come out of you naturally without you thinking about it. Because we, as was stated before, we will be there to put the words in your mouth, and the words will just flow out of your mouth. And it's kind of like turning on the tap of your sink, and the water just flows. You don't think about that; the water just flows, and that's what's going to happen. When the time comes, that tap in your brain will turn on, and the words will just come out of your mouth. And part of you might sit back and say, where is all this coming from? And you'll know it's coming from either the world of spirit or from other dimensions. It matters not which it is, and therefore just allow it to continue to flow until it naturally stops, and then your teaching for that day will be over. Do not fear it, but anticipate it with excitement, and that will enable the faucet to open freely, and then the words to flow. That is our message for you today. It again has been a great pleasure for us to speak with you, and we hope that we have inspired you with things to think about, and for a way to mold your feelings and thoughts about the days to come, and so that you are going to look at it with excitement and not dread and fear, for that is extremely important. With that, my friends, we need to withdraw, and we leave you with our blessings and our love, and for our grand appreciation, for it is not easy to walk in the physical world with one foot and another foot in the spiritual world. Many people do not know how to do that, and you are learning how to do that, and we are most appreciative of that fact. So be it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We love you.